I thank the Lord for what we had got done, and she had forgot. We was actually both in the pool. Hers was water, mine was mud. I was in a pool of mud. It was hot. This old man just ain't able to go.
Right.
I see my son, he was breathing hard and he was struggling. I told him, get up out of there, let your dad in there. So at least I got one side cut, and I had to dig it out because the motor sits out.
Right.
So it's hitting the bank. And that part of the job, the inside was easy. And prior to us leaving, I was going to leave that day because we did the big job. And I seen that they had a big old TV where it enlarges it. And I told him, I said, if you want, we can take that to the dump. And then he was saying later how his wife had been getting on him about taking that big TV. I'll tell you what, it took me and that boy to get it in the back of the truck.
Wow.
That thing was pretty heavy. It was one of them where they photograph it on there. Projection TV.
Yeah. Wow.
And so he kept getting stuff out there. My Lord, the stuff we took to that dump. But I always pray. And I always ask the Lord to give me strength. And it really wore me down because it was hot. But I'm still here.
Yeah, amen.
And no problems. But God's a good God.
Yes, He is.
And one thing about it, if we have a need, all we have to do is ask Him. And He'll send us need. He'll send us help. Aren't you glad that He's there with an open ear? When you call Him, His line isn't busy. He's always there to take your call personally. He's no respecter of persons. Everyone is special and everyone is important. And I thank Him, and we need to let Him know that He is important to us. When He does something, as I always said, make sure you thank Him for what He's answered the prayer, or whether He hasn't. The answer could be on the way. And so we thank Him for Him being everywhere. We all can't say that.
Right.
We might would have liked to been, but Jesus can be. How many times have we broke down? Maybe your parents worked. Maybe they couldn't make it. Maybe they didn't have a vehicle. And the Lord would send somebody. One time, me and Brother Charlie would just come back from work and our car broke down where Amy Klink is. And right here come Brother Wally. Pulled right in front of us. God always sends somebody. As long as we put Him first. As long as we acknowledge Him. Give Him honor where honor's due. And He will honor you. What you sow, that shall you reap. So we thank and praise Him for His Spirit and His power. We're going to go to use your talent. We're going to go to St. Matthew 25 and 14. St. Matthew 25 and 14. And while you're looking that up, I'm going to just read this one. This is St. Mark 1 and 1. It says, the beginning of the gospel of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. In the 15th verse it said, and saying the time is fulfilled, the kingdom of God is at hand, and it's at hand. Repent ye, and here's the key, and believe the gospel. Now Matthew 25 and 14, it says, for the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants, and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability. And straightway took his journey. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. Likewise he that had received 2, he also gained other 2. But he that had received the 1 went and digged in the earth, and hid his Lord's money. And after a long time the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoned with them. And so in the 20th verse, he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I'm going to make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. And that's what we're striving for, saints. We do all this work down here, and we get stressed, and we get strained, and we get wore out. And we're looking to enter into that joy of the Lord where there is no pressure. There isn't all this load. And I got news for you. When you get up there and you get in that mansion, you're not going to find no blood pressure pills. You won't need it because you're not going to be stressed. You'll enter into the joy of the Lord. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. You see, it's just like the angels. He said, I have angels camped around about all them that fear him. Maybe they went through this same scenario, and now they're ruler over many cities. 24, Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art a hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. And 26, In the mouth is life and death. His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant. Are we slothful tonight? Are we using the gifts the Lord gives us? Are we going out and helping? And just as Jesus said in the 1 verse in chapter, and he said, When I was sick, you visited me not. When I was hungry, you fed me not. When I was naked, you clothed me not. You see, it's not just about family or immediate family. It's about church family. It's about other Christians that might be somewhere else. And so, he was a wicked and slothful servant. Thou knewest that I reaped where I sowed not, and gathered where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received my own with usury, or interest is what he means. Take therefore the talent from him, give it unto him which hath 10 talents. For unto every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And when that Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. Before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. So we see all nations are going to be there, are going to be gathered together, and he's going to be doing some weeding out. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. what a goat says all the time when you ask to do, but. I would have wept, but. I would have did this, but. So he's setting them on his left. 34, then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come ye blessed of my Father. Inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was a hungered, you gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. Naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. And I was in prison, and you came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer and say, Lord, when saw we thee a hungered, and fed thee, or thirsty, and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger, and took thee in, or naked, and clothed thee? Or when saw we sick or in prison, and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as you have done it unto the one of the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me. It says that we can entertain angels unawares. You don't know how many times somebody's come knocked at my door and said it didn't have gas, or they had a flat tire, or there was one that where something happened to his right tire, and I was thinking to myself, what would Brother Dave Cottrell do? And I figured out what he would do, and I did it, and I sent that man on his way. You never know who's going to come knocking at your door. Are we going to turn Christ away unknowingly? Or are we going to help somebody? Then shall he say also unto them on his left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire. Think about this. Prepared for the devil and his angel. We won't be too busy for somebody to help somebody. I was testified one time when we lived over here, and we was trying to get out of there, and we finally got this trailer, and it was all this stuff of getting it set up, getting electric, and getting it, them moving it over there, and getting this and getting that, and getting oil for it. And I get a call. And it was one of the saints' relatives, her sister. And they'd lost their check. And they asked me if I needed some wood. And I said, well, I don't need any wood at the time. And so they hung up. And I got thinking about it. Now here I'm in all this busy mode. I've got my things to do. Well, we better make time for others. And so I thought about it, and I thought, maybe I should have tried to help them. But now, I don't know their number. We didn't have an ID caller back then. And I said a prayer to the Lord. I said, Lord, I know they're over here at Point Marion, but I don't know them from Adam. I could walk into them and know it was them. But I said, help me to find them over there. So, I drove over there. I drove down to where Foodland or AMP, what used to be down there. And there was a guy with a load of wood. I thought maybe that's him. And so I asked him, I says, is your wife the sister, the one I knew? And he said, yeah. I said, did you just try to call me? And he said, yeah. I said, you bring that wood right over. And I not only gave him what he wanted for his wood, I gave him extra. You see, God will bless you. We have to take time. If we want joy, joy is spelled J-O-Y. Jesus first, others second, and you last. Not first. And the Lord blessed us. 42, for I was a hungered, you gave me no meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and you took me not in. Naked, and you clothed me not. Sick and in prison, and you visit me not. I remember this man that was staying down at the hotel down there, and I think he needed money. He didn't hardly have any clothes. I said, I got some clothes that I know that will fit you that are new. And I took him some of my clothes that I knew that would fit him. And gave him some money. And then shall they also answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee a hungered, or athirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and we didn't minister to you? Then shall he answer them, saying, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as you did it not unto the one of the least of these, you did it not unto me. And they shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into life eternal. Church, we better use our talents. We better use what God has given us, because He can always take it away. We don't want to put any curse on ourselves. How many, I'm going to ask you out there, what do you think happens when you do something for somebody? From them. Sister Cindy?
From them,
Yeah.
they thank you.
What else they do?
Bless
They
you.
say, you know how many times I've ever heard them say,
Bless 'em.
God bless them.
Yeah.
They're putting a blessing on you. That's Bible in there. When they helped these ones who were struggling and having a hard time and just poor or whatever, they would bless that person, telling God, bless them, Lord.
Amen.
They're putting a blessing on you. They can either put a blessing on you or a curse. Remember the children of Israel when they come out of Egypt? They met them not with bread and water. And they got cursed. And they was their brother. Matthew 18 and 23. Matthew 18 and 23. See, I want to receive blessings from people. I don't want to receive no curse. I'd rather help somebody. My son, we was talking about some people, and he said, Dad, he says, I know if anybody had asked you for something, you would help them or give it to them or help them. You'd leave your feelings out of it. Matthew 18 and 23, Therefore is the kingdom of heaven like unto a certain king which would take account of his servants. And when he had begun to reckon, one was brought unto him which owed him 10,000 talents. Church, I want you to realize that's a lot of money. 10,000 talents they owed him. But for as much as he had not to pay, his Lord commanded him to be sold, and his wife and his children, and all that he had, and payment to be made. But the servant therefore fell down and worshipped him. I want you to realize they're talking about God. They're talking about Jesus Christ. Saying, Lord, have patience with me, and I will pay thee all. Then the Lord of that servant was moved with compassion, and loosed him, and even forgave him the debt. But the same servant went out, and found one of his fellow servants, which owed him 100 pence, hardly nothing. And he laid hands on him, and he took him by the throat, saying, Pay me that thou owest. And his fellow servant fell down at his feet. And he besought him, saying, Have patience with me, and I will pay thee all. And it said he would not, but went and cast him into prison till he should pay the debt. I want you to understand that first one, it was all about money. That's what he was thinking about. He owed all that money to the Lord. He owed all that debt. He had did all those sins and was forgiven. And this one little servant didn't even know the man very much. But it was all about money. So when his fellow servants saw what was done, they were very sorry, and came and told unto the Lord all that was done. Then his Lord, after he had called him, said unto him, O thou wicked servant, I forgave thee all that debt, because thou desirest me. Shouldest not thou also have had compassion on thy fellow servant, even as I had pity on thee? And his Lord was wroth, and he had the power, and he delivered him to the tormentors, till he should pay all that was due unto him. So we see how the Lord expects us to use our talents. to help ones in need whenever able. And God says He'll restore. He'll restore unto them. And also that we should forgive. You'd be surprised how many sometimes leaves the church, and because they haven't been coming to church, they get cold-hearted. They start speaking against the pastor. They start speaking against the saints. Their heart gets hard. It isn't right any longer. This is why we need the church. Out in the world, you've heard some of the parents say, it's a cold world out there. I want you to realize there's warmth in the house of God where the Spirit of God is. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. And there's warmth. And so we thank Him for that. We need to pray for the ones that's got cold and got hard-hearted, got calloused, got mean. I know how I used to be, and I know what the Lord's done to me. As that one song goes out, he used to sing, that old man that lived there don't live there no more. There's a new creature in Christ. That's how you know they're saved. There's a change been made. Not by us, but by the Creator. May God richly bless you.
Yeah.
Amen. Hallelujah.